What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Asa Studio. Once again, I bring to you another tutorial. Are you facing a problem like this with your images, or have you seen this type of problem? I'm going to be showing you how to fix it, whether it is actually a problem of skin disease or skin infection, or maybe you just put in some cream and you actually want to make use of the photo. Now it's very hard for you. Alright, so sorry for that pause and the noise of the helicopter. Like I said, it's not actually very hard for you to fix something like this, so I'm going to be showing you how to fix that in a couple of minutes. Alright, so let's get started. First time, let's listen closely to the skin. You can see that she has some rough skin, and also this part, maybe it's actually fireborn or something that we can actually know or figure out what the problem is. But as we can see, it seems like a fireborn to me. But if not, or she applied a cream or whatever she applied, we can actually say that the color here is actually like the cyan or something that has to do with blue, although some of this part is black or and kind of ash. And no matter how you try to fix the color with you can just get what you want. Okay, so except the hue is going to affect those places that has color. But let's see how we're going to fix that. First of all, let's create an adjustment layer, and the adjustment layer we're going to be using is hue and saturation. Now, just to figure out that this place is actually hue, I want to correct this part to be equal to this part of the skin. Alright, so I'm going to pick the hand tool and then I'm going to sample from here, and you can immediately see that here is cyan. So what I'm going to do, no matter how you change this, you're just going to worsen the case. So I'm just going to say 0, and then I'm going to desaturate it just like so. Now the desaturation is to make this other part look the same. You can as well bring the brightness down a little, and then you can hit the close button, and now we have this to this. Alright, so we've actually corrected that, and now let's try and see what we can correct in the black or the dark part. Okay, so I'm just going to desaturate all colors that is actually on the black area. So this one, I kind of figure out something, same thing. Let's bring it down, and we have that. Okay, so two saturation is actually okay. I'm going to group the two together, and we have this and this, so you can see that is actually present here too. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next part, and before we go to the next part, the way we're going to fix that is using the select. So now there is, assuming we're actually using capture one, it's actually to just pick with the color editor tool and then adjust it, but it's not actually going to adjust like I said. So I've tried it in capture one, it won't give you the result, except let's use this method in Photoshop. So select the color range, and this time around use the plus sign, which is this one, so you can select more samples. Now I'm going to select this side. Let's use this one first of all and select, and then hit the plus sign, and then you can select more of those places you figure out, and Photoshop is actually going to do a good job selecting those range for you. And you can see how you can actually slide it over like that, and then pick up a couple of places. Okay, so I guess that's actually okay, and I'm just going to increase the fuzziness a little bit to, let's say, 17, and then I'm going to hit OK on the keyboard. Now it's going to select that area. Now let's go to the solid color, click on it, solid color adjustment layer, and you see that it's actually filled it with that color on your foreground color. But that's not the color we want to use. I want to use the color of the skin, which is this one. So pick somewhere around the skin, somewhere here, and you can see it's actually fixed. They chose the color range, and if you don't know the color to choose, just pick on anywhere, something like that on the neck part. But I want it to be like this, which is the top part of, let's choose the average. That's too bright. I'm looking for something so realistic, even the top, but it's actually on the sample. It's a sample point layer, so let's just do somewhere around the neck, and then we'll click on OK. So now that we click on OK, we're going to go to the blending mode, and then you can change it to soft light, and then you have something like this. So you can see before and then after. Alright, so that's not enough. We can go back again and we can select and see the one that actually matches better. So you can see as you keep on choosing, it keeps on, you know, changing. So let's see. I guess this will just work fine for me. So around the neck, and then I'm going to increase it up just a bit. Take it up, take it up, take the brightness up. Okay, and then we'll click on OK. Now we're going to use the select again, color range, and this time around we're going to select this part, which are the rest parts that are actually black. So I'm going to hit the plus sign and then keep on selecting those parts that are actually not selected with it. So I'm going to select those parts like this, and you can see that it's actually selected places that were not selected before. So keep on just, you know, hovering and make sure it selects those sides, and then click on OK. Now it's going to select, and then go to solid color again, and this time around let's choose from this side, and then we have this. Okay, we can actually adjust it later on. Let's change it to soft light again, and you can see that it's blend with that. So either you chose, you do again, and you know, choose from this place, and then comes to normal, then we have this. All right, so now we're not done, but we're just halfway there. So let's grab our brush tool and, you know, turn it off and see that it's not supposed to affect this place. So let's change the foreground color to black and white, and we're going to paint with, let's see, black. Yeah, so it's X and choose the max, and then make the brush bigger. I'll make the brush bigger, and then I'm going to clean. Just hit X on the keyboard to remove from this side of the eyes, and then something like that. All right, so now we can see before and then after. All right, so that's good. So let's create a stamp visible layer with that. I'm also going to group these two together. Now this one, we're going to do some frequency separation, so I'm going to hit Ctrl J twice. Let's name this color first, and then hit Ctrl J and name this texture. So let's do the frequency separation, turn this off, and then we're going to choose this layer, go to filter, Gaussian blur, Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it till when I don't see, when I know I can actually blend those. Like we're going to blur it just a little bit to something like this. Looks fine to me. Okay, so I can see the color variation from that side, even from here also. So let me just do 18. Yeah, 18 will do. So type in 18 and then click OK, and it's going to blur that. Let's choose the texture layer, go to image, apply image. Now the more you blur, the more you get, you know, the more you get texture. Blending mode, subtract. You all know how to do frequency separation, and you can see what's given to us. All right, so now we're going to go choose linear light on the blending mode, and I'm going to group the two together for frequency separation, and then it's okay. Open it up, choose it. Now let's start blending with the mixer tool brush. Select the color layer, and then this is how I set my brush. So I'm just going to start blending, and I'll get back to you. The recording is going. I've actually done so much with the frequency separation, and I pray you can see the before and then the after. I just want to confirm if it's actually reading, if the record is going on. Okay, the record is going on, so you can see the before and then the after. Okay, so sorry for the system being slow, and I know my voice could actually be cracking also. So before and then after. Okay, with frequency separation, I didn't do a lot, but I just tried to minimize what I did, and then you see this, I can actually do the frequency separation again, and this time it's going to get better. So instead of doing that or running it twice, I'm just going to Control Shift Alternate E to duplicate the layer. And again, we can do another frequency separation, but I'm not going to bother you with another frequency separation, but let Photoshop give us a visible layer that we actually merge, and then from there we can go to the next process. Alright, so now that we have this one, we can go ahead and create hue and saturation adjustment layer one more time, and then I'm going to click on this bottle, this and tool, and I'm going to select somewhere here, and it's actually giving me the red, so I want to let it be like this. So let's try and decrease the saturation, not of the red. That's not going to work. Alright, so I'm trying to make this look like this side, so let's turn it the other way around, and let's see where we actually need to select. Okay, yeah, somewhere like this. I'm going to leave it that way, and then make this one 0, and we can actually change the hue of that, and it looks like this right now. We can see the before and then the after, so the yellow is actually gone. We can also do the same for the lightness, but I'm just going to make it short and simple. No, so now that we have that, let's merge the layer together. So right click and merge layer. It's going to merge the two, and then we'll go to camera raw, filter. Okay, it's merging the layers together. Alright, so I'm going to open up camera raw filter, camera raw filter. So here we are in camera raw filter. So before we do another frequency separation and maybe work on the tone, I'm actually going to try the white balance tool and click where it's actually white, and we can see custom, and let's turn it off and before. So but for now, let's leave it at, let's see auto, and you can see that it's actually giving us the melanin skin, but I'm going to leave it as short because I'm going to use the melanin lot. But for now, let's try and fix the highlight and the shadow. So bring up the highlight a little bit more, and then the shadows, I'm going to brighten it up. Okay, let's take the blacks up too, and then we have this one, and we can just raise up everything a little bit. Okay, so for the texture, I'm actually going to bring it up so we'll have more texture to work with in the next frequency separation. Okay, so that's okay. Let's close the basic tab and go to curves, and just quickly create an X curve going up and X curve coming down like this. So now we'll go to the color mixer, and on the color mixer, you think the orange or the red is actually too much, so you can actually bring the red down, and I think you're not actually seeing the effect just because it's actually slow. The laptop is actually slow. Let's bring it down, and then let's see the orange. I want to check if okay, it's actually working now. Alright, so now let's go back to the orange and bring it down a little. That's too much. I guess I like it like this. Let's see about the yellows. I guess there's no yellow. The saturation of the orange is too much. I'm going to leave the red back to normal, and then let's change the hue of the orange. Let's change it bring it towards the red, and the yellows, bring it towards the yellows, and the red, bring it towards the oranges, so something like this. Okay, so for the luminance, I'm gonna increase. Yeah, I like to increase. Okay, so now that's that. So we can actually see before, put it down, and then after, corrected to the natural melanin. I'm not going to use this color grade. I'm going to quickly go to the calibration tab, and then for black skin, I like bringing the red primary to the back and the blue primary forward, and then I find the sweet spot for it with the, normally I like making this one go where the red goes, so something like this, and I can click OK, and then we have the result, which Photoshop is actually going to give us. So let's wait till Photoshop gets that done. And one other thing, we can create artificial, skin tones for the person, so we can see the before and then the after, which is still, if you feel like it's too exposed or too bright, I think I'm actually going to leave it like that. So we can create artificial skin tone for the person, like I said. So for that, we're going to go and create a solid. You can create a solid layer and choose one. Okay, I think we should use the other method. Let's cancel this one and delete that. Ctrl Z, not this one. Let's go create a new layer and then shift F5 to fill it with gray. So let's fill it with gray, not the blending mode. Content, let's see if it blend gray, and then OK. So now after we fill it with 50% gray, I'm going to go to same place, filter, camera raw filter, to add noise.